afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Wild Earth Safari. We're here on a live safari in South Africa in Djuma Private Game Reserve, and we've managed to find this beautiful, beautiful leopard. She's just come down towards this waterhole to have a little drink, and she's found herself a nice little spot there on the mud. Now, that mud is nice and cool and nice and fresh, and so for her, I think she's really enjoying the fact that she can have a nice, cool spot. As far as we know, she does have a carcass that she's busy finishing up on, and so this cool area will just help her stay out of the heat. It's an incredibly hot day today, and so for her, she's found the perfect place just to lie down. You can see that very rapid breathing that she has at the moment, the panting that she's doing. That is all just in an aid to try and cool down that body. So she's trying to get rid of all this hot air that is building up, and trying to get herself nice and cool. She is one of our most seen leopards here at Djuma. She's called Karula. She's the queen of Djuma, and is a leopard that we really love to catch up with. So it's such a special treat for us to be here and to be live with this animal in the middle of South Africa, in the middle of the Kruger National Park, is quite something. If you have any questions, please send them through to us. We would love to answer them. We'd love to help out and answer any questions that you may have. But isn't that the most beautiful scene? So we have Orkin from Istanbul. I don't know, Orkin, if you would like to ask us a question, but before we get into that, there's a warthog that is approaching here. So maybe she might go into a stalk mode. She hasn't seen the warthog has not seen her, and I think the warthog is going to come in for a mud wallow. Can you believe this? This is absolutely incredible. Now, I don't think either one has even seen each other, but I'm sure as soon as that warthog gets anywhere near that water, this leopard is going to be onto it quickly and going to be able to pick up that there's a potential prey item available to her. Now, the thing is, though, is whether or not she will actually hunt it is anyone's guess. At the end of the day, a warthog is a very large creature, as you can see by the graphic there between the two of them. It's almost the same size as her, and given that she has got food in her belly, maybe it's just going to be too much and too hot for her to actually hunt. But isn't that incredible how that warthog came charging in here? I don't think the warthog has actually seen her, but because this is a game reserve and there are other vehicles here on safari, potentially they've seen these other vehicles and they might think, or the warthog might think, maybe something is up, and has been a little bit wary and skirted around the edge of this waterhole and is now looking maybe for somewhere else to go and wallow. The leopard looks completely unperturbed at this stage. So Shay would like to know where the cubs are for this particular female. She does have 2 cubs, and Shay, the 2 cubs are actually not too far away. As I mentioned, she does have a carcass, and so as far as I know, the 2 cubs are still feeding on the carcass a little bit away from us here. When we got here, we actually didn't see the 2 cubs. We just found her walking down the road towards this waterhole, and so we thought we'd just catch up with her for a little bit while she's here at the waterhole and see what she gets up to. And wouldn't it have been amazing had that warthog actually come into the waterhole right where she was sitting? It would have really triggered quite an interesting response. But yes, the cubs are around. They are well. They are good. We are going to try and see if we can catch up with them just now. So if you would like to carry on watching, you can always make your way to www.wildearthsafaris.com. WildSafariLive.com, and you can carry on watching and you can keep up with the cubs and with Karula herself. But isn't that the most magnificent animal you've ever seen in your life? She is absolutely stunning. She is by far one of my favorite cats. She has got such a gentle demeanor. She typically is very relaxed around the vehicles. As you can see, she's not worried about us in any way, and it is absolutely incredible to spend time with her. So Mohit has just commented now saying that it is so good to see a leopard in its natural habitat. And Mohit, I can't agree with you more. It is incredible to be a part of this and to be in these wild areas and be able to see these rare big cats out in the open, and to get to spend a lot of time with them is the most incredible thing. So yes, we are incredibly fortunate to be out here with these animals, spending time watching them, observing their behavior. So yes, we are very lucky. But you can see, look at that camouflage, eh? If you actually look from this distance further back here, you can see that it's actually quite difficult to see her. So she's actually done really well to find herself a little spot there. And I actually see that the warthog has just started to get into the water. So maybe she'll take notice and be able to have a little look around. You can see the ripples there from the warthog. So Stephen would like to know why she's breathing so fast and whether or not she's been running. And the answer is, Stephen, that no, unfortunately, she's not been running. She's just kind of come down to this area, but she's breathing so fast because she's very full of meat, which means her body is producing a lot of heat to break down that food, as well as it being an extremely hot day today. It's about 35 degrees centigrade or about 95 Fahrenheit, so it is very, very, very warm out here. And so much like, I don't know if you have pets, like a cat or a dog at home, when they get very, very hot, they start to pant like this to expel all that hot air that is inside them and just to help cool that body down a little bit. So that is the reason why she's breathing so fast. She's not been running. I think she did quite a bit of running about a day ago when she was catching the carcass that she has stashed not too far from here. So I think she can hear that there's something going on behind her, but I think she's just too full and hot to actually have a look at what's going on. But the warthog is really not far from her at all at this stage. So I'm just going to reposition us just so that we can actually see the warthog. Hopefully we're not going to spook it in any way, but let's have a look. So Callum would like to know how old this leopard is. Now, I can't remember her exact year that she was born. I think maybe one of the viewers can help us with that, one of the regulars. But as far as I know, she's somewhere around 10 or 11. So 13, sorry, there we go. She's 13 years old now, so she's in her kind of upper end of the prime of her life. You can see the warthog's actually just trotted off behind us, and she's just seen it now. But the warthog is making a hasty retreat. It's gotten its little mud wallow. You can see it's covered in mud there, so it's packed full of this good mud that's going to just help it cool down, and so it's going to try and get out of here. The leopard at the moment is just watching the warthog. I don't think the warthog actually saw the leopard. I think just with us moving, maybe got a bit of a fright. But yeah, the leopard is busy just watching, and I don't think she's actually going to take too much interest. I see she's kind of gone back to her normal pose, so I don't think she's going to be too interested in hunting. Like I say, she's very hot. She has a carcass. She's full-bellied, so there's no real reason for her to take on a warthog. Also, the warthog that we just saw is a big male warthog, which for a female leopard is quite a tough kill. That animal is pretty much the same size as her in terms of length of the body and is probably double the weight. So it's really not an easy animal for her to bring down. So in all likelihood, she's rather going to go after something a little bit smaller. So Bob would like to know what her lifespan is. Now, leopards in this particular area in the wilds of South Africa typically will live to about anywhere between 16 and 18 as a female leopard. I have seen other leopards that have gone over that. There was a leopard that I saw in this area that used to go, she went up into about 19 and a half, and there's another one that I know of that went over 20 years old, which is crazy. Generally in these kind of wild areas, female leopards will live to between 16 and 18. A male leopard's life is slightly shorter. The reason being is that he is a lot more competitive. He has to patrol territories, fight with other males to be able to control an area to access females. And so generally their lifespan is a little bit shorter lived. They normally are anywhere between sort of 12 and 14, but sometimes you'll even get them up to 16, 17 years old. Alright guys, so if you're really enjoying this and you want to kind of get more into it, we do have a live TV show that is running on Sunday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can just go on and have a watch. We'll be doing exactly what we're doing now. We'll be out and live, and you can watch the whole show live from the comfort of your own home on the TV. So as you can see, so that is it, guys. So we're going to be leaving you now. Like I say, if you want to carry on watching with us, you can go over to the website and go and carry on. But what a privilege it was to have you with us. It's an absolutely incredible experience, and I hope you enjoyed this little segment from live from South Africa in the middle of the South African bush.